was resident of Collinwood.
Yeah, I'm resident.
Jules
I'm
Sane.
res. I'm resident of Colwood. Joel says that is my buddy Patrick McCray. That is my buddy Alan Gallant. We're here to review the movie Longlegs, starring Nicolas Cage. I'm gonna let these two gentlemen take it, and I'll be back. You guys go right ahead.
And welcome to
Yeah,
those Collinsport boys.
yeah, exactly. It took me a couple of times to make it through this movie, and I'll tell you why. I have a condition called cataplexy that means it's an advanced form of narcolepsy,
Sure.
and intense emotions uh, don't just send you to sleep; they
Mm-hmm.
actually make you pass out. You
Right.
just you
Well,
have missing time.
this movie has a droning sort of effect about it,
Well,
and
what I was going to
you
say
know.
is that the first time I saw this movie, I only saw it in snatches
Mm-hmm.
because it kept having that effect. It was
Yeah.
just so relentlessly, inescapably scary.
Mm-hmm. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we've lost Patrick for a moment, but he's right. It's inescapably scary. It has an incredible. Um, it has a dense mood about it. And it's the name of the movie, by the way, is Longlegs. It's a relatively new movie. It was put out last year. One of the co-producers and stars is Nick Cage, and he's got some really good character actors, particularly some women in it that are absolutely fabulous in it. And let me see. I want to find that for you. And in the meantime, this is a true horror movie in both the psychological and the supernatural categories. Uh, what's happening here? Let's see who's in it. Okay, Nick Cage plays Longlegs, who is ostensibly a serial killer. And he's wearing a lot of facial makeup and a white wig, and he's being Nick Cage at his most deliciously extreme. Micah Monroe plays Lee Harker, who is she's a detective, and she is partnered with Blair Underwood, the actor who has been around for quite some time now, but is very good as her partner in this. Alicia Witt, who I've loved since I saw her as one of the students in Mr. Holland's Opus back in the mid '70s when she was like 18 years old or something. Back in the '90s, sorry, '95 I think it was. And Alicia plays the mother of Lee Harker, Ruth Harker, and everybody in this movie has a really dark burden that they're bearing for various reasons, but won't get into that quite yet. But the whole style of this movie is it's very leisurely paced in a lot of ways. It's slower than your average horror film or suspense film because it's got elements of both of those things. But it uses the same sorts of cinematography, where you see a person come into frame and then they go out of frame towards the camera, and then there's a sense of movement towards a door, and then there'll be a cutaway, like, oh, something could have happened there, maybe something weird is behind, off to the side or whatever. So they give you that feeling of suspense and dread. Really, really well done. Really well done. There's a creative element to the cinematography that's really cool. About 85% of the cinematography is done in this sort of amber, and it's also 80 or 90% white, and it's hold on a second here, folks. I'm doing something here. And I'm trying to get him back. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Da, da, da. Jack is trying to get back, or Patrick is trying to get back, I should say. Hey there. Good God.
Did you get knocked offline when I called?
No.
Because I got knocked offline when someone else called, and they wouldn't stop, and I can't get back on
Okay.
Jewel comes back.
Okay. Well, I'm telling them all about the cinematography and all that stuff. So I'll leave you on here so you can make a comment, so you can at least give some audio comments. Okay. And let me turn you up a little bit here. Make sure. Those Collinsport boys on 2 different formats.
It's recursive.
It is. It's very wacky. There you go.
Oh, God. Okay.
So anyway, I was talking about the cinematography and how that amber light and how we're 85% at night. And the daytime they do some interesting things with sort of grayish blue light, which is a nice sort of mix up, but we're seeing that idea of that sort of one environmental claustrophobia, and that's about as far as I got. And I talked about the starring cast and so on. But
yeah, what I was saying when I initially saw the movie was it was so scary for a lot of reasons. I almost didn't want to put my finger on that. I kept passing out.
Yeah. It has that
nightmare that I never quite was released from.
It's got a real slow build pace to it, and it I guess I've mentioned before, it has a droning effect.
Yeah.
And it makes you anxious. It does its job, but also I can understand why, if you're not used to that pacing, it can also kind of hypnotize you a little bit.
Oh, it very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's trance-like.
Yes.
In a lot of ways, and it has that quality of a ritual. You feel like you've been drawn into a ritual.
Yeah.
You're losing your identity, just like the victims in the movie.
Right, exactly, because it turns out that feeling that you get before you really know what's going on is what's going on. Yeah. So you get to the emotional hit before the intellectual hit comes through. I was really fascinated by the fact that it parallels 2 realms of suspense and horror, or terror, probably more terror than horror. And those 2 realms are psychological and supernatural. They're both very much present in this, and one is not an illusion. They're both real, at least according to the story that we're getting. And they're both extremely real. The psychological starts with the effect that this Longlegs has on this kid that he meets when he's 9 years old, and her mother, and it completely influences the feeling of the movie, everything else. And I think Nick Cage does a great job of being present in the film, even when he's not on screen.
How could he not?
Yeah, I mean, it's the extremity of intensity of his role, and going down into the deepest pit of whatever psychodrama he is playing as an actor is working, and it's working well. And I can imagine being on set with him and being like just viscerally affected by him, just by him being present and in character. It would be spooky. So, but ostensibly this guy is a serial killer, but yet we find out he's something more than that. He is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This whole thing should be called spoiler alert, because there's no way to talk about the movie without, honestly, without.
There isn't really. But it'll still. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, the trick in this that I really like is that this type of movie is always about someone who fashions themselves as being a supernatural figure, and of course isn't.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make them any less frightening
or
any less effective. Maybe it's more.
Right.
But in this, the twist is exactly the opposite.
Right.
That there really is something going on here. And I find this a nice antidote to that trend in horror in the late 90s and early aughts, where, the ghosts are just our friends kind of thing, where you a Sixth Sense thing, where you go through the whole movie really expecting some balls to the wall crazy ending, And no, everyone's just we pals.
Yeah.
At the end of it, and it's sort of a letdown.
It's a release that a good horror film probably shouldn't have. Completely, it shouldn't. There should be a loose end and open end, something. Yeah.
And there's none of that. This is nothing but an open end.
Yes, it is.
I mean, they could make sequels. I hope they don't.
No, it doesn't need one. But the cycle of this horror continues. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that it's going to continue, and that's enough. That's enough. You could sum up this movie as a version of hell, really. I mean, the guy is described, Longlegs is described as a Satan worshiper at one point, and he is, but he's also in and of himself satanic.
When we see his bedroom, when we see him in his bedroom, there's a poster on the wall of the man, or Mormon or something. Who is that?
You know what? I must have spaced that. I didn't get a good look at it. I did not get a good look at that. But
I'm curious to find out who that was.
Yeah.
It's Doc Severance.
Yeah, well, he's still alive, so
he is. He lives in Knoxville.
Yes. I wonder if he still has a wardrobe like he used to. Oh my God.
I'm sure he does. He's seen at Fresh Market occasionally. He fell in love apparently with a saxophonist.
Awesome.
In the band when he came in the orchestra when he came to play.
Yeah.
And so Knoxville's best kept secret is Doc lives here.
Awesome. Yeah, he's well into his 90s, but my father's age. But yeah, I thought that was cool. He's sort of the living legacy of the old Tonight Show at this point. So, Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
This film gets no last man standing. It doesn't really get it last anybody standing at the end of it.
I'm happy to see her take out the bad guys very effectively, though, or some of them.
Yes.
That includes her mom and her boss, who are the most beloved characters in the movie as well.
Right, and unfortunately, they are under possession. So literally, this is
9/10 of the law.
Yeah, it's not just a psychological break. They are literally part of the web of this guy's possession, and that's they capture him at one point, and he sort of makes all these weird illusions, and then and this isn't during the last probably half hour of the movie, going into the sort of the last big reveals and everything, the last drama. And he says, "Ask your mother." And then he literally commits suicide by beating his head against the table. It's just, it jumps you. There's not a whole lot of what you'd call body horror in this film. Very, very little. That might be the only real incidence of it, where you see a bunch of blood.
The corpse in the bed.
Yeah, it's mild compared to a lot of stuff, but yes, that would definitely it would qualify. That whole thing where they dig up the coffin underneath the boards and there's that doll in it, and that whole thing is freaky. They did that really well.
That effect anyway, and this is one of the creepiest doll movies I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot, because anytime a doll is in a movie, it's creepy.
It's usually creepy. Yeah, I think the first doll movie I remember seeing was probably Magic, which is the ventriloquist doll.
Does Trilogy of Terror count?
I suppose it would. It's called the Fetish Doll, Zuni Fetish Doll. So I would say, but I don't think I'd actually seen that before I saw Magic. I think I saw.
I remembered. I was a ventriloquist at the time.
Yeah.
I was a kid ventriloquist.
Yeah.
So I was already into it. So it didn't scare me as much.
Right.
Because I knew how it operated and I was used to it.
Yeah.
You know why dummies are ventriloquial figures? They should call them. You know why they're so creepy? Is the single eye agreement. Eye agreement?
Yes, I do know eye agreement. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
eye
right.
agreement
Yeah.
that they won't break off.
Right.
They just keep staring.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, there's no socially acceptable eye agreement, as you would say. or psychologically acceptable eye agreement. It's like they just keep looking at you. Maybe they blink, but they stay staring at you.
I knew someone who was a victim of a stroke,
Yeah.
and one of the things that left was that natural instinct
Yeah.
of when to break off the
Mhm.
gaze, and that had to be relearned.
Yeah.
And that was a series of very interesting conversations.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. And it was probably quite a challenge for a while for the person too, I'm sure.
It seemed. I think they were not happy with it because it was just something that was not perceived, so it seemed fussy.
Right.
You know, if you're hearing about it, it's like, but I have to stop looking every few seconds. It's like,
Yeah, kind of.
average humans do.
Yeah. Look past them on the right or left, or do something else. Yeah, something like that.
Just glance at your phone,
Yeah.
watch anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And this particular doll is so damn lifelike too. It's freaky.
Yeah.
You know,
It uses Uncanny Valley very well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Whoever the sculptor was, I mean, they described the sculptor as being an artist, you know, and they were. I mean, the person that actually made the prop was fantastic. I don't know. Maybe they did a life cast reduction of a real person. I don't know. It's quite possible.
I just do it with a scan.
Yeah.
You do a lighter scan.
Yeah, that's right. This movie's only a year old, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. They just.
I think that's probably is making the days of the plaster cast go away.
I think so. And with any movie with any kind of budget at all is going to be able to afford to do this. Yeah, I would think so.
Well, you can do it on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is good and bad at the same time. You don't get the sort of fussy detail work that a Dick Smith would do, you know, but you also get this photorealistic stuff, you know, for everything from doll heads to foam appliances.
Well, the nice thing is that you can once you'll get a perfect scan, and then you can alter it in Blender.
Right, exactly. You can use it as the foundation, as anybody would have cast if they were going to do makeup over that cast. So yeah.
That's been responsible for the revolution in action figures that are made now of actors now.
Yeah, so
they're absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
One of the first times that was done was for Star Trek Nemesis.
Oh yeah.
The scan of Patrick Stewart is
Patrick Stewart, so it becomes a perfect sculpt, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of the actors in this film? I mean, aside, we've already mentioned, Nick Cage, but
I think who's it? Is Blair Underwood? Is that the boss?
Yes, Blair Underwood is the.
He is the warmth.
Yes.
And the humanity that the film needs, and that the film is ultimately, of course, going to pervert.
Yes, but as a horror film, it should, right? You know, that's kind of
what a joy he had making this movie. In that weird way to play that range.
Oh yeah.
Know that you have this scene coming up.
Mm-hmm. Knowing that you're going to going to get really dark and homicidal at the end of it because you're possessed. Yeah, it's. And of course it's a gut punch for the audience too, because they've seen him one way the entire film. As this concerned, professional but concerned, warm guy with a family, and of course, unfortunately, Longlegs is looking for families to murder, and so it goes.
I think his daughter's really good in the movie also.
Oh yeah, yeah. That whole family is great because they make you. They make you invest a bit. The hardest person I had at first to invest in was the daughter, and eventually I started to invest in her. And I think it's a slow build. At least it was for me.
You mean Ruby or the main character?
Main character.
Okay.
Yeah. Lee, I guess, right? Her name is Lee. Yeah. And Ruby's her mother, who kind of starts this whole thing. But Lee is hard to like and hard to get to know for a while. until a few things start to get revealed, and then you start to feel some empathy. And I think that's by design, and at least I hope it was, because I think it was well crafted that way.
I agree. This is it's interesting when you have a movie that is so good and so tough to watch. Because generally movies are the most user friendly of art forms.
Mm-hmm.
They do all the work for you, ostensibly.
Yeah.
And this movie makes you work.
It does. It challenges you as an audience member rather than just kind of, hey, tag along with me. It's like, no, yeah. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Something else is going to be, important is going to happen or be revealed. And so it's good though. It's like good literature challenges you that way. Read on,
Well, the watching this movie came about because we were talking about movies to look at, and I suggested The Monkey.
Yes.
So this is all kind of taking place in a larger context that we'll get to maybe tomorrow. With that film.
Yes.
Because that's a much more you suddenly see Osgood Perkins' sense of humor.
Okay.
Much more.
Yes.
And you see that it's evident in this movie, but it's only evident in this movie, I think, as clearly once you see The Monkey.
Right.
The Monkey is a very user-friendly movie. It still is alienating as hell.
Yes, but it's labeled as like comedy horror or comedy thriller.
And it is. Yeah. It is. And the dialogue in it is just crap.
Yeah.
He has emerged in 1 year. He is like Ortega.
Yeah.
Kind of emerged in 1 year, when X came out.
Oh, thank God she did. I love her. She's wonderful.
She's wonderful. It's difficult to see her as Wednesday Addams and the girl in Beetlejuice having to rewind from the adult that I know she already is.
Oh yeah, because she I mean it's like she's like 25 years old or whatever, and she's playing a 16-year-old on Wednesday or whatever. So yeah, it's a little she pulls it off. I mean, she's a fairly diminutive person, so she pulls it off pretty well. And also Wednesday is just atypical anyway. Makes it a little easier to do that way.
I haven't seen that show. Is Pubert a character in it?
I have not actually seen much of the show either, so I can't tell you. I've only seen like clips of it, and I was more interested in her in those clips to see what she was doing. So
Uncle Fester's in the first season.
Uncle Fester is in the season. Yep,
in the first season. Yeah.
Doesn't
Hey Jewel. Okay, I'm gonna log off here. I'm gonna try and log back on. I couldn't get back on.
That's why he's on my phone.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
you weren't here to let me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a wacky episode.
Let's give that a shot.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. No, we worked it out. We had a nice discussion while you were gone. We just had a little burp in there for a minute or two.
Sorry, but Julie.
It's all good. We figured it out. I held it up and said, "Oh yeah, there's not too much of a reflection. You can see him." So that's what we did.
This movie is pretty good. I mean,
it is. It's a little different in its approach, but it also uses a lot of classic elements that you can appreciate. So.
I think, I was talking to Patrick a bit before we started, and I said, I would love to see Osgood Perkins, to me, could do a Halloween movie now.
Oh,
the way
he's emerged as a talent, there's no doubt in the last year or two. So, I mean,
and especially the way he filmed this movie, it was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not as fast paced as what John's Halloween is.
No, it's deliberately it's deliberate. That's what it is. It's not too slow, but it's slower for sure.
It sort of, in a weird way, I'll tell you a movie it reminds me of in a lot of way. It reminds me of the pacing of the original Psycho in every way. Like really well
slow
paced.
Build. Everything's slow build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Gus Van Sant should take notes. He really should.
Seriously.
But really, really great job. So, and I love to Nick Cage's performance too is really just jarring. I mean,
It is, and it's meant to be. He does everything possible to just get under your skin. There's no doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yeah, and it deals
Welcome
with
back.
the pressure of catching the criminal too,
Mm-hmm.
really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I said to all my relatives when
Oop! He popped again. He's popping his balloon a few times here tonight. It's maybe it's the Knoxville effect. I don't know.
Well, the crazy thing about it is it's not hard to hang up on the phone either.
Right.
this is a gypsy curse.
There he goes. It's gypsy curse.
Yeah, when Nicolas Cage appeared on the screen, I said, "That's the girl I'm going to marry."
Yeah. So he was wearing one of his toupees, I assume. And he was
Toupee
long,
or not
like
toupee, that
Witch
is
Hunter or
the
whatever, Witchblade or whatever he was.
Another movie this reminds me of too is The Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
The pressure of catching a criminal.
Oh God, yes, and the sort of the psychological horror aspect of it. We were talking earlier about the fact that it's psychological and supernatural both. This film,
Yeah,
it doesn't skimp on either.
It's a hydrox of horror.
Yeah, it does. It's the hydrox of horror. That's exactly right.
Superior to the Oreo. So said Harlan Ellison.
You know what? Harlan's right. Because when I was a kid, one of my friend's dad was a driver for Sunshine Bakery, and we used to get hydrox all the time.
Yeah. Hydrox is good stuff.
Yep.
You had Necco and all of that up there, though.
Necco, yeah, New England Candy Company. That's what Necco stands for. For those of you who don't know, it's a sort of a chalky sugar wafer. And my favorite, it came in packages of various fruit flavors and mint and various other flavors, peppermint. But my favorite was the all chocolate Neccos.
Sure. Their original ad line was, "We make transubstantiation fun."
Do you still buy the Laffy Taffy candy?
Sure. They still make it. I used to, when I was a kid, it was Turkish taffy.
Yeah.
It was a company that made Turkish taffy. It wasn't the same thing as real Turkish taffy in like England or something, but the brand name was Turkish taffy. And that's what we used to get and pull our teeth out and do all sorts of wonderful things with that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to, I remember in the mall, they used to sell candy right along the aisleway. I mean,
oh God, they have whole stores in our mall.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Jean and Boots was was the one. But yeah, this movie really, really great. I love the cinematography. I love how they use the weather, they use the elements.
Oh yeah.
The people in this too are so tense at times. Like you can cut the tension.
All the actors are on the same page in terms of what the atmosphere is and where their headspace is. And that's not easy with something like this to maintain that, because it does move in a different way than many films of its genre. And so there's a lot of good discipline. There.
You know, I think there was something wonderful about the ubiquity of Bill Clinton in parts of the movie with that big portrait, because and this may just be me reading into it, but I don't think so.
Well, it's there for a reason. Things are usually there for a reason.
And it's the statement of leadership can be benevolent, that the power figure can be benevolent, and that immediately makes you think of where it's gone. And that sense of nostalgia for when the cosmos was led by a benevolent figure, and now that benevolent figure is, and then all I was thinking about is that benevolent figure is absent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And now obviously in this film it's been replaced with a satanic figure. literally is standing.
And so
it goes.
I
right.
don't think that's me having a stretch.
No, I don't either. I mean, I think you and I are the same mind when it comes to that analysis. But in the film, it's actualized in that obvious, really super obvious way. But it's also what's also actuated in this film is possession.
Yeah.
Certain people are seduced by this figure, and then they're ensnared, and they can't get out, or they won't get out. So there's that dynamic.
Which think of what an elusive image the Bill Clintons become in that, because then you have all these other people on the other side of the aisle who think he's a adrenochrome drinking Satanist himself, and
media. Well, the way that media has exploded since that time too has made sure if we consume any media at all, we're going to be bombarded with that other side.
Because that piece of set decor, although it is true to FBI, offices and so on, did not need to be necessary. It didn't need to be there.
No.
And so that's a very deliberate choice. Stephen Sondheim, every minor detail is a major decision.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think this is. I got the feeling that this was set in the near past. Anyway, I and with Bill Clinton up there, that sort of solidified that on that level.
You have an 8-year range.
But also, it could have been W. It could have been HW. It could have been anybody.
But
it wasn't.
They chronolocate it very specifically.
Yeah.
No, they did a really good job. I mean, with this movie. So, out of all, I give it a 10. It's really, really good.
It is, and I appreciate the difference in this movie from other movies. While at the same time, it's using a lot of classic horror suspense references and cinematography, but it's using it in a very unique way.
Yeah.
Well, I need to log off right now, but all I'm going to say is you're going to have a really good time with the monkey.
Yeah, it's on Hulu. Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Alan, have you seen it yet?
I have not. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. So
you're going to have fun.
I'm gonna watch The Monkey, and I'm gonna finish watching Alien Earth.
Cool.
Okay,
which is pretty good. I'll send you guys.
That started.
Yeah, that started.
Yeah,
and
today.
It's on what, Hulu?
Yeah, it's on Hulu. I'll also send you guys a link to Sweet Revenge. It's only 15 minutes. You can spare 15 minutes.
Oh, sure.
All right, guys. I will see you later.
Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Playbook album in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel. Call It Sport After Dark will be in the description box tomorrow. We're going to talk The Monkey. You guys have a good night. Take care, Alan.
Awesome. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.